What's been fascinating is that in the past year or two, I've been invited to more and more events with expert panels where I've been asked to present my ideas. But what's fascinating and wonderful is that I get to hear other people's ideas. And I also get to see how these might be picked up. So that whereas I sit in my, in my office and write and think about all of this on my own, I then get to present the ideas not to other academics, but to policymakers. And of course, I'm not presenting the theoretical ideas. I'm saying, okay, this is how I think this can apply and this would make sense. And so I'm a bit participant and observer because I'm watching also the circulation of ideas. Since given that I'm interested theoretically in the importance of ideas in discourse, what I've actually been seeing over the past year, I was last year in March, so a year ago, I was at the big event where social democratic leaders came and anointed François Hollande as their candidate for the French presidency, and they talked about Europe. And I actually got to have my 7 minutes of fame speaking at the very podium where François Hollande was to speak an hour later. 7 minutes on democracy in Europe and what the problems were. Well, what was interesting is a year later, what I'm seeing is many of the ideas I discussed with others at that event have found their way into the argumentation. Not that it's my ideas per se, but you can see that people are thinking along the same lines, and there's a consolidation in terms of the ideas amongst social democrats about how to think about Europe. And what you're seeing, since I have just critiqued austerity, is they too are critiquing austerity in a much more coherent way, and they're also saying, okay, here's our solution, growth. They're now talking about having the parliamentary elections in 2014. There's going to be, they want to have a candidate who will have a particular platform, and that platform is in the process of being developed in these various meetings where I get to not be a fly on the wall, but someone in the room, also offering opinions about what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what the problems are, and debating back and forth with other experts and political leaders, often former political leaders, because the current ones don't have the time to do this, but these become the ideas that find their way into speeches and into programs for, in this case, the Social Democratic Party.